my heart is so full right now. It is my profound pleasure and privilege to celebrate an exceptional leader and an amazing human being, Reshema Kemps-Polanco's this year's 2025 HBA Woman of the Year. When I reflect on the first time I met Reshema, I can't help but to smile. It was nearly 2 decades ago in an elevator at Novartis Pharmaceuticals Corporation. 2 young, driven African-American women, each navigating the corporate world that at a time didn't boast very many women who looked like us. But it wasn't our shared background that bonded us. It was something even more immediate and intimate, a mutual, deeply felt admiration for each other's fabulous shoes. Jim, I see you. I see you. You were speaking to me when you lifted up that foot. Now, if you fast forward almost 20 years later, Reshema's shoe game is still on point, but her journey has been even more extraordinary. Those of us who knew her then saw a force of nature destined for great things, and she has undeniably made her mark, transforming the healthcare industry with unwavering resolve and purpose. Reshema, what am I saying? Reshema is a leader who embodies the beauty and strength of duality, proving that you can be many things at one time. She is both a sophisticated city dweller and anchored by her Louisiana sensibility and foundation of faith, believing in blending urban elegance with deep-rooted values. She is both results-driven and purpose-driven, fiercely committed to achieving business success while nurturing her team and caring deeply for the patients that she knows she's in service of. Her leadership is characterized by fearless determination, balanced by a playfulness and an irreverence that reminds us all to lead with both your head and your heart. For me personally, watching her navigate and balance these qualities with grace and intention has been an inspiring lesson. But Reshema is more than a powerhouse of achievement. She is a dedicated wife to Ray, a mother to Caleb and Sarah, a sister to Aisha, and a daughter to Miss Gwen. Hey, I see you over there, Miss Gwen, looking great. And she's a mentor and an advocate for women in healthcare. She understands that true success isn't just personal. It's about lifting others as we rise. She actively works to create a legacy of women leaders, guiding and mentoring and advocating to ensure that women just don't participate in the conversation, that they shape it, Her unwavering commitment to building an inclusive, empowering environment is transforming the healthcare landscape one leader at a time. Reshema, this is for you. Denisa is looking down at you right now, and she is so proud, and I am too. So today, all of you, let's raise our glasses and perhaps even our shoe to celebrate Reshema, a woman who exemplifies bold leadership. She champions the power of women uplifting each other, and she's committed to cultivating leaders for life. Here's to her incredible journey, her remarkable achievements, and her tireless dedication to empowering others and healing patients. Congratulations, my dear friend. I love you, and you inspire us all.
She's very authentic, doesn't try to hide anything about herself or her personality. I feel like she's 100% her at all times. I think that that's super important, and that's really what makes her like the rock star that she is.
Reshema is truly one of the most high-impact leaders I've come across over my time at Novartis. Everything she does is with the patient in mind, whether it's launching extraordinary medicines in the world of cancer or building great leadership teams. She's absolutely relentless in her will to make that happen.
Reshema's dream was always to make a difference in people's life. And with all her great work and engagement in the healthcare industry, she had so much impact on thousands of patients with cancer and other serious diseases.
I knew from the first time I met you more than 20 years ago that you would have a tremendous impact on patients, on people, and communities, and you've done that and more.
She doesn't just talk about patient centricity. What I love is that she lives it and breathes it, truly ensuring that life-changing therapies are available not just to one patient, but every single patient who needs it.
Where you live, how much money you have, how you look, who you love, should not determine your opportunity at life and at health.
She has this incredible balance of business acumen, strategy, execution, but also that balance of being able to identify, nurture, and push her associates and people that she mentors to be the best versions of themselves.
Reshema encouraged me and other emerging female leaders to know that we could, even when we thought we couldn't.
If you have a seat at the table, take up space. Give voice for those who do not have the same opportunity.
You combine a truly genuine purpose with a deeply caring spirit. You embolden, you challenge, you support with every word you say, and you create a unique legacy with every step you take.
If there's a very tough challenge, an impossible task, Reshema is the one to engage and solve it. She never gives up and always stays the course.
We know that healthcare disparities can no longer be ignored. It must be embedded in our DNA in the way we show up every day with our teams and for our patients.
The thing that I think strikes me the most is her willingness to be vulnerable and to show her soft side as a source of power.
I will never forget being on maternity leave together, thinking about how we're going to be great moms and great leaders, being scared and excited at the same time.
My mommy works in Novartis and she helps sick people.
My son, who's 5, he will say, "Mommy helps the sick people who lose their hair, but they make a medicine that makes their hair grow back." But he knows that Mommy works to help sick people.
When I think of my mom, is generous because she sacrifices a lot of things for me, humble because she doesn't boast about her achievements, and she is also ambitious because she always aspires to hold herself to the highest standards.
Resilient, consistent, and loving at the same time. That's how you describe Reshema.
She's the first one I call if I'm feeling down or I'm feeling unsure. Like she's my rock. I don't know what I would do without her.
She's truly an extraordinary leader, but also an extraordinary human being.
I remember back when you won Rising Star, and I told you one day you would be the Woman of the Year, and today is that day.
I can only say congratulations.
Congratulations, Reshema.
I am so proud of you.
This recognition is so well deserved.
Congratulations on getting Woman of the Year.
Please welcome HBA's Woman of the Year, Reshema Kemps-Polanco.
Thank you, Wendy, my dear friend. I am so proud of all that she's accomplished. Isn't she amazing? She is a firehouse, right? A dynamic leader, mother, and friend. I love you so much. Thank you. And she's on the HBA Board of Directors. Mary wanted me to make sure that I let everybody know that. I have to tell you, I am overflowing with emotion. I had no idea about that video, nor what Wendy was going to say, and I was trying to keep it together back there as I was waiting. I've gone through about 6 tissues, just so you know. I have more in my pocket because my good friend Marion gave me a nice hanky before he knows that it doesn't take much to make me cry. So we're gonna try to get through this, right, without a bunch of tears. I have to say, over a decade ago, I sat right where you are as a rising star. At that time, it was one of the best days of my career. I could remember it like yesterday. And I never imagined that I stand before you here today as the 2025 Woman of the Year. To all of the honorees, Rebecca, Jim, our rising stars, and all of our luminaries, our heartfelt congratulations. Give them a round of applause. I am so truly grateful to the HBA, to Mary for your visionary leadership, to the founding women of this organization. Stand up one more time, because we're all wearing white, by the way, and we didn't plan this. It's because of you that I can, and I thank you for that. And by the way, I said, you don't get to wear white very much, like maybe your wedding and maybe when you're the wotie. So, okay, so I wear my white. I still remember my first wotie over 20 years ago. Each year, I left more and more inspired. I truly stand on the shoulders of giants. Past woties, like Dr. Deborah Donsire, who said, go for it, what's the worst that could happen? And she was stepping into a CEO role for the first time. Denise Torres, who told us to be a badass. And Christy Shaw, who reminded us that only what you do for others will last. I want to thank Novartis, our CEO Voss, who couldn't be here today, for nominating me, to my powerhouse team, and all of my colleagues who are here celebrating with me. Yes, we are 12 tables deep over there. Let's hear it. That's right. Thank you for being here. It means so much to me. What you guys don't know is that there was a top 100 leaders meeting this week in Chicago, and these guys all extended and stayed over to help me celebrate, and I appreciate the sacrifice. Thank you so much. To Victor, my boss, my friend, and a father of 3 teenage girls. Y'all need to pray for him. Thank you for your steadfast commitment to developing women to the executive level. You're truly an amazing leader. And of your support of starting early. What you guys probably don't know is that Girls in Science program that Diane talked about was Victor's brainchild, inspired by one of his own daughters. And we are all so grateful for that program, and thank you for all of your great support. Thank you for being here. And to the men here today, thank you for being here. Men who are partners in this mission. Stand up. I want to say something to you. My husband included. I want all the men to stand up. That's right. We need to celebrate the men. Let me tell you why. Men who, like the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, believe that women belong in all places where decisions are being made. Men who believe that by creating a seat at the table doesn't mean they lose their own. So thank you for your partnership and your support. And finally, to my family, to my mom, my sister, my goddaughter, my godson, my dear friend, Heather DeMyers. I know the Teva people are nervous, but she's sitting at the Novartis table. She was my friend first. She's my family. But I celebrate you, Heather. Heather just crossed the 10-year mark as a 10-year breast cancer survivor just this week. I love you. To Loriana Hernandez, journalist, 2-time cancer kick-ass survivor. and fierce advocate for patients, thank you for making the trip, and thank you for your nomination. Thank you for being here. To my kids, Caleb and Sarah, Caleb is here in Chicago, but he developed a fever this morning. I will tell you, he's 17, but those fevers don't stop. So we kept him home. Oh, he's there watching on FaceTime. Hello, son. All right. Awesome. And my daughter, Sarah, 13-year-old, you haven't seen a force until you've met this one. Listen, I love you so much. Being your mom is the greatest accomplishment of my life. And to Ray, my husband, my biggest supporter who puts up with me, I love you and thank you. Now, as a woman of faith, I would be remiss to not thank God for the privilege of leadership, because it is a privilege. So I thought deeply about what to say today. We're living in uncertain times, right? Many people in this country, in the United States, still don't have adequate access to quality health care, where healthcare systems around the world are strained, and the continued progress of women in leadership is of great concern. The HBA's mission as a united force for change has never been more critical. And that word force stuck with me. I looked up the definition. What does it mean? I've often been called a force of nature, and I can tell you I didn't always like it. I was like, now what do they mean by that? But now I accept it. I'm happy to be a force. Let me tell you what it means. It means force is what pushes or pulls. It changes motion. It accelerates. It changes shape to a tipping point until it becomes powerful. Let me share a few moments in my career journey that pushed and pulled me, moments that changed me and helped me to find my own power. First, in 1999, fresh out of graduate school and service in the U.S. Armed Forces, I joined Novartis. It was my first job out of graduate school. I built my foundation in sales, marketing, analytics, and then there was that defining role that changed the trajectory of my career. That defining role that you say on Sunday night, for sure, this is the week I'm going to be fired. And my husband can testify to this, that there were times when I was in my closet on Sunday nights dreading what was going to happen on Monday, and would they find out that I wasn't really ready for this job. So this job, I served as chief of staff for Alex Gorski, who was then the CEO of North America at Novartis, who went on to become the CEO and chairman of Johnson & Johnson. During the interview, we connected over my military background. Now, are they showing that military picture yet? You see that red lipstick? I still wear it. That's stuck with me. And when I got the job, I asked them, are you sure? Who does that, right? And I remember thinking, were there 3 people interviewing? These people are very accomplished, Harvards and all of this, right? And I'm from Louisiana, but I was clever even then. I said, well, you know what? I'll interview with him. I probably won't get the job, but at least he'll know who I am and I won't have to do it. Well, unbeknownst to me, I got the phone call. I did get the job. And I will tell you, on a serious note, even though I had excelled in my past roles, each of them earning me the next opportunity, I struggled with that imposter syndrome. That one that questions, are you enough? The one that questions, and Rebecca talked about it, all the things that you're almost like a teenage girl in your 30s, again, trying to figure out who you are. But thank goodness for leaders and sponsors. Thank goodness for Alex, because he didn't see who I was at the time. He saw who I would become, even when I didn't know it. And how many of you know that sometimes you need leaders to believe in you long enough until you believe enough in yourself? That was a push phase in my career. Another defining moment came in 2014 when my team delivered breakthrough results for one of our largest oncology franchises. I was named Rising Star that year. It was the best year of my career. but I was at a crossroads. 2 small kids, a husband with his own business, thriving. I'd been offered multiple opportunities outside of the country. It wasn't in the cards for me at the time. And I thought to myself, what am I doing? It is enough. Could I keep going and be the mom that I wanted to be? And people would tell me, oh, don't worry, your kids won't remember. But it was what I wanted to remember as their mother. So I told my own mother that I was thinking of stepping down. And she said, you will not step down. I've worked too hard for you to have this chance. You can have both, and I will help you with the kids. That was yet another push moment. She retired that year, and she gave up her career so that I could continue mine. Please help me honor my mother today. I love you so much. I recognize that all that I am and my ability to stand here today and speak these words is because of you, and I thank you for it, and I love you. Moving on, from there, my career accelerated. I spent 7 awesome years at a little company called Johnson & Johnson, rising to the president of one of their largest businesses. I see so many of my colleagues and dear friends here today, mentors. I also would not be standing here if it wasn't for my experience at Johnson & Johnson, and I thank you guys for it. Thank you. Then 2020 came. We all know 2020. The tragedy hit. Many of you think that I'm talking about the pandemic, and yes, it was a great time of human suffering, but also personal loss. I lost my best friend, Denisa. She was my best friend for 27 years, the godmother of my children. We were college roommates. We celebrated our 21st birthday together. She passed away of metastatic breast cancer after it had returned, after being cancer-free for 7 years. She was only 48. If I had a twin, she would have been it. We are born less than 24 hours apart. It was meant to be. Less than a year later, I returned to Novartis as the head of U.S. Oncology. It felt like a calling. That was a pull moment. My purpose became crystal clear. Denisa, even while fighting cancer, found purpose in helping another woman she had met during chemo, someone who could not afford transportation to her treatments. Denisa paid for her rides anonymously. A simple yet powerful act, but a reminder of the barriers that patients face. Since returning to Novartis, I've had the privilege to lead not only oncology, but our full innovative medicines portfolio as U.S. Chief Commercial Officer. I've never forgotten what Denisa taught me. I have a seat at the table with some of the most brilliant people in the industry. I see my peers, my colleagues out there. You know that our voices matter for every patient facing barriers. We call it bringing the patient in the room. What would you do? How fast would you move? What differences would you put aside if those patients were in the room watching you? This is what we try to live by. And I'm proud that over the last 4 years in the US, we've launched more than 20 new medications and indications that advance the standard of care for some of the world's most serious diseases. We've delivered 9 consecutive quarters of double-digit growth and created momentum to shape access and policy from cancer screenings to heart health. But most importantly, I have a seat where I can help the next generation of leaders become force multipliers across healthcare. Many times, our purpose and our power are discovered in the face of adversity. Mine certainly was. When we are pushed and pulled towards something bigger than ourselves, that force transforms us from leaders chasing success. I would submit to you, success is fleeting. It's non-linear, but significance, chasing significance sustains. And no one knows more about chasing significance than the scientists who work so hard to discover new medicines to solve some of the most challenging diseases. Their life's work is about a work of significance, 10, 20 years researching medicines to get that one breakthrough, that one moonshot, and their success is fleeting. Their work is instructive for all leaders because they never give up, and they continue to look for that next treatment, that next cure. So much of these defining moments I've taken you through are about timing, right? So think about this. I want to speak to our emerging leaders, our up-and-coming leaders, who might be worried about if they will reach their full potential and their goals. I had a chance to poll some of the early career and mid-career women in my organization as I was preparing for this, asking them what were they most worried about. Things like, will I ever become a leader? Am I good enough? What about the current environment? All the things that I used to think back when I was at that phase in my career. So I have a message for you about timing. It is not time for suppression. It is a time for you to level up. It is not time for you to be invisible. It is time for you to stand out. And it is not time for resignation. It is a time to create momentum. And for those of you in the room who have influence, you're the industry titans, you have a bunch of people reporting to you, you have influence and leadership at scale. Who are you sponsoring? Notice I didn't say who are you mentoring. Mentoring advice is free. Sponsoring costs you something. It costs you something. It costs you something. Who are you willing to put your own credibility on the line for? Because only then can we help others truly discover their own power. And that's only then will a collective force for change arise. Who are you using your influence, your bright light, to turn that light and shine a light on them to create an opportunity? So I say to you in this room, it is not by chance you all are here. Nothing happens by accident. The rooms that you are in every day at your companies are not by chance. The seat that you have at the table is no coincidence. The space you occupy is uniquely yours. But what will you do with it at a critical time such as this? At a time when over 20 million people will be diagnosed with cancer around the world this year. Heart attack will take the lives of 35 million by 2050, and diseases like Alzheimer's still evade science. And women who care for the health of others often more than themselves and continue to be the backbone of our healthcare workforce are leaving at alarming rates. How will you use your influence to close the care gaps and ensure that where someone lives does not determine if they live? We have a platform. We have a voice. You have a voice. Say it. I have a voice. Say it louder. I have a voice. And as a united force for change, we must maximize our power for the good of a healthier society. I challenge you in this moment today, discover your own power, help others discover theirs, make it collective, and truly become a united and powerful force for change. Thank you.